Yeah, we were supposed to go on this year to celebrate our 10th season of existence. As the league trip advisor, starting years ago, you put a lot of thought, a lot of effort into making this shit happen. On a scale of 1 to 10, how Joe bucked are you at the league that they basically bitched out, and we're not, we didn't have enough interest to make this happen?
I would say I was at a 10. I was at like a 15 when it first happened. I was completely Joe bucked and offended. And I've lowered it to maybe like an 8 just because I think anything at 9 or 10 level for that long period of time would have given me a stroke or a heart attack. But I was pretty enraged when it happened, and I was pretty disappointed with the league as a whole just because I think everybody had ample time to plan for it. I think that we made it as easy as we possibly could. We didn't try to plan any outrageous trips. And some league members that will go unmentioned even were trying to make it even crazier than what it was, or was saying that we should do crazy draft trips, to Vegas and things like that. We can't even get 10 guys, 12 guys to go to Gillette Stadium, which is pretty freaking sad. So from a league perspective, I'm pretty, I don't know, from a Dynasty Trip Advisor perspective, I don't know what to do with this league anymore, but we'll see what happens.
Right. Well, I'd like to say thank you. Even though it's not happening, I'd like to say thank you for doing all the work you've done. It was in no shortage, to what you did, and I know, you and I and Phil worked together a little bit.
Yes. I was going to say thank you both for your help in doing that, because I know it was something that we tried very hard to make happen for the league. So disappointing that 3 members work so hard, but the other guys can't get together for that.
I think alcohol has a lot to do with some of the no-named people who say they're going to do things, but then ends up not happening. But you know what? Fuck, screw it all, because you and I and Phil, we're still doing it. We're going to Buffalo, baby.
Fuck yeah, it's going to be amazing. We got tickets for a song, really, when you look at it, compared to where we're actually sitting. And we're just going to go tear it up in Buffalo.
Exactly.
Those guys.
Screw them. So, Coach, last year was a huge disappointment for you. You were... Nice segue there. Nice segue. You were the favorite.
It was a success.
You ended up going 7-8. You were, pretty much the favorite heading in. You've taken accountability, for some of the mistakes you made, which I think is awfully manly of you, to be honest with you. But do you still have, that need to prove to anybody that maybe your D6 championship was not a fluke?
I definitely want to be better in the league, and I think the league has gotten better even since I've been in here. So I think that as we move forward, I think championships, then we're going to be, because it's going to be kind of a testament to the people that you beat throughout the year. And people just keep on getting better and better, and we really don't have a weak coach in the league that's not named Will. So, I mean, I think it is very important. I want to be better. I don't know what this year is going to look like, because I mortgaged my future a little bit. I went all in, maybe when I shouldn't have. And we'll see what happens, but I'm definitely going to do better and be better in the upcoming years.
Yeah. So going into this year, Coach, you're down a 3rd and a 5th round pick, I believe, which means you certainly have a little bit, less pressure on you than you did last year. What are your expectations here in D10?
I mean, anything can happen. Obviously, I think we've seen coaches in the past perform extremely well with less picks. Yourself being one of them. I know Coach Zach has been really good without a lot of picks. So anything can happen. It's not that anybody's out, especially with trades and everything like that. So I think that my expectation should be somewhere in, as a fringe playoff player right now. Depending on the type of draft I have, I can improve that, and depending on the kinds of trades I make, I can improve that as well.
Excellent. Now, Brian, if you wouldn't mind just maybe going a little higher in the screen, there we are. Thank you, sir. That's it.
You want all of it?
I don't want the nips or anything. We're good.
Okay.
So I'm asking all the coaches this question. I'm curious in your answer. Let's just say hypothetically something happens and Soul Glow is not in Dynasty Bowl 10 this year. Which two teams would you predict will make it, again, assuming it's not going to be you?
Wow. I am going to, you know what? I'm trying to think. Can this even happen? I'm trying to think of a matchup that could, well, I mean, anything could happen, right? Because once you get to the Dynasty Bowl, like, it doesn't matter what division you're in, right?
Yeah, you could have two teams from the same division.
I'm going to pick, I want to pick two. I want to pick two matchups. Can I pick two? Is that allowed?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to pick, I would say, we're either going to see a Matt Whiffen, Phil Tamulus matchup.
Wow.
Yeah, I like picking two people that probably haven't done much, but I really would like to see those two guys succeed and do well. Or I want a brother-brother matchup. I either want Bubba versus Zach or you versus John.
I like it. Obviously, I like the one that involves me, but I like, you pretty much named, about half the league there that's going to be.
I said about half the league other than myself could make the Dynasty Bowl. So, I would say it's more of just either comes down to the two most unlikely guys based upon their records over the past couple seasons. Will obviously had a pretty good, Will. Oh, man. Sorry, Phil. That was quite an insult. Phil obviously had a much better season last season, but he had a couple tough seasons there for a little bit. And Matt, just Mr. 5 and 10. It'd be good to see him finally break out of it.
Right. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to it. Your keeper player for this season. I think it's somewhat obvious who you're keeping. You got a really good running back there. I think you got him via trade last year. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you ended up drafting him. I don't remember. But why don't you go ahead and make it official? Soul Glow keeper player.
My keeper player for this year is C.J. Spiller and Fred Jackson.
So you're keeping them both.
Well, I'm not having C.J. Spiller if I can't have Fred Jackson. So
all right. Well,
that's my.
We may need to.
I don't care what the rules of the league are. That's my rule. I want it written up there, Scoop. When I see my name on the Dynasty draft board, I want to see C.J. Spiller and Fred Jackson.
Okay, they're not slaves. We're not living in the.
I thought they were virtually the same person.
Yeah, they are actually two separate individual human beings. We're going to have to dig deep into the 93 rules in the rule book and see if we can try to swing something for you. But I'm going to go ahead and assume it's going to probably just be C.J. Spiller. What are your expectations out of the lad this year? He's not the best of teams, you'd think, but he might be the man there finally.
Well, I think what we're going to end up seeing with C.J. Spiller is I think we're going to see a little bit of pressure taken off of him, actually, because I think that, he will be the primary back, but I don't think he'll be competing as the primary back. I think that put a lot of pressure on him throughout years. And I also got a couple stats, looked at it, and the only running back I think it was with the best yards per carry, other than Adrian Peterson, who was the best in the league, was C.J. Spiller.
Right. No, I think that's correct. Great. Now I have two yes or no questions for you regarding the draft, Brian. If you wouldn't mind, just give me a yes or a no.
Okay.
Will you be wearing your Dynasty 6 championship ring at the draft this year?
Yes.
Will you be bringing and possibly using your kick-ass Nerf grenade?
Yes. Hell yes. And I think actually it's time for Soul Glow to finally upgrade their Nerf arsenal, especially because of the assault that took place with Brandon McDowell last year. That won't be happening again. And I'll be sure that I will take that bastard's fucking eyes out if I get fucking hit again when I'm not supposed to.
Yeah, you were the victim of, 3 unnecessary nerfings, and I mean...
3 unnecessary nerfings. One necessary.
Right.
One necessary. I know a lot of people keep on telling me that I did have a necessary nerfing. Yes, I did. I had 1, but I got hit 4 times.
Borderline harassment.
4 times.
Borderline harassment, my friend. Well...
It is.
Well, it was a pleasure... It was a pleasure talking with you today, Coach, and we look forward to seeing you at the draft, and good luck this season.
All right, thanks, Coach. You too.